front. What do you say about development in Ondo State? First, let me commiserate with you because you're from Ondo State, and but then now the baton has moved on to Lucky Aiyedatiwa. Talk to us about how you're reacting to this.
We're very unfortunate that we lost Governor Akeredolu at this time, even though it has been a protracted battle for him. But it is painful, especially when you look at the role Governor Akeredolu played at the very time he was governor of Ondo State for about 7 years, not only for us as the people of Ondo State, but his role as somebody who championed the cause of our nationhood, somebody who stood for the collective aspiration of our people, particularly in the Southwest region, in the very turbulent period in our history. We cannot but forget the role that Governor Akeredolu now played, in the cause of, the demand for rotation of power presidency in Nigeria, and other very important moments that he stood up for the collective, aspiration of our people. So as a people, it is a very, terrible moment. It is sad that this has happened, and we do only hope that God, in His mercy, will console his family, the good people of Ondo State, and every other Nigerians that Governor Akeredolu stood for during his lifetime, while being governor of Ondo State.
And now Mr. Akeredolu's deputy, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has been sworn in as governor of Ondo State. He has promised to continue from where Mr. Akeredolu left off and to bring good governance to the people. How are you receiving that news?
Well, it's an inevitable, step that must be taken in respect of the dictates of our constitution, because there cannot be vacuum in the position of the state chief executive, and that is while Governor Akeredolu was absent, on medical leave, Mr. Aiyedatiwa has to be on board, acting in the capacity over the last couple of days. Now that he has been sworn in as a substantive governor of Ondo State, the expectations are high, particularly on the part of our people, especially when you look at what our state has passed through in the last couple of months, where there was practically no leadership owing to the unfortunate illness of former Governor Rotimi Akeredolu. So the expectations are high on the part of our people. It is no longer going to be era of assurances and promises. Our people want to see leadership reinstated. Our people want to see their hope being renewed in the new leadership that has emerged in Ondo State in the person of Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa.
And what do you consider as priority that Governor Aiyedatiwa has to focus on now?
Well, fundamentally, considering what the country is going through, the welfare of our people must be made a priority, especially when you look at what our people have gone through over the last couple of months. The absence of the governor in the state have led to a lot of deficit in infrastructure. At some point, there were roads that they were cut off, and the state capital were not accessible through some of these roads. Health infrastructures in Ondo State are in state of coma as we speak, and all other fundamental. But I think most importantly, the governor must now look at the issue of the welfare of our people, not only the working, population of Ondo State, the civil servant, but other sectors of the society who have been shut out of benefits of governance in Ondo State over the last couple of months because of the unfortunate ill health of former Governor Akeredolu. The government must build a team that must be ready to move, because he cannot do it alone. He must be ready to build a team that is ready to work for the people of Ondo State and not for themselves.
Well, we'll pause there shortly, and then I'll bring in my colleague here, senior political correspondent Aiyedatiwa Zubakon, who is with me in the studio. If we may take it from where he stopped there. He talked about the need for Governor Aiyedatiwa to build a team that will work with him, and already we're hearing of some people resigning from the Executive Council. How do you see all of that play out?
Don't forget, there has been a kind of catch-22 situation for Lucky Aiyedatiwa. When Lucky Aiyedatiwa was about to be transited from the deputy governor to the acting governor, he signed a pact, and he signed that pact in the presence of the president, saying that he will not dissolve the Executive Council of the state. There's an undertaking to that effect, one, and it will work with the party leaders and it will work with all the apparatchik, the structure on ground that Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, former Governor Oluwarotimi, late Rotimi Akeredolu, set on ground. But don't forget, we had a situation at that time. It was a controversial situation. Now, Lucky Aiyedatiwa has been sworn in as substantive executive governor of Ondo State. So any agreement he might have signed in time past is automatically null and void. He has a prerogative to choose his cabinet. Prerogative. Days ahead, he will proceed to nominate a deputy in consultation with his party leaders, and a deputy will be produced, nominated, and the State House of Assembly will have to screen that deputy. Lucky Aiyedatiwa is from the southern senatorial districts of Ondo State. So if he's going to choose a deputy, is that from the northern senatorial district or the central for this balancing thing? So Ondo State election before was slated for sometime November next year. So, but right now, from now to, he still had a clear year, 1 year, to act, to be the substantive governor of. If he's going to throw his hat in the ring, when the process, because there's a timetable on ground for another election that will signal the expiration of the term of Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, at the first instance, if he's going to, throw his hat in the ring, this ahead will show. But there's been some people that are principal actors that have played a lot of roles that have not been in support of Lucky Aiyedatiwa. So days ahead will now decide their fates. Some are in the executive council members, they want to succeed as the governor. Some are, the SSG, people like the speaker, the SSG, people like the party leader, Aiyedatiwa, and those ones they've shown their hands in his travel ahead of this time. So him being the governor now, we are going to see if he's going to be magnanimous in victory or he's going to show those guys the door.
Well, he has mentioned that he would continue from where Governor Akeredolu stopped, and that importantly, he would bring good governance. And he spoke highly of Mr. Akeredolu while delivering that address. Yeah,
he has a choice, because if you look at it, Aiyedatiwa was not the first deputy governor of Governor Akeredolu. Don't forget, the first deputy governor, the first time, he was impeached, and the late Akeredolu single-handedly selected Lucky Aiyedatiwa as his preferred choice to be the deputy governor. And when the time came, when they had to seek re-election, he chose him to. He was able to, he chose him to be a partner to run with. So they had a very, very cordial relationship just before the sickness of former Governor Rotimi Akeredolu started.
All right, then. Well, let's bring in Mr. Lawson here. In the days, Ayo has spoken about, what could just happen in the days ahead, the need for a deputy, because there has to be a deputy to support the governor in the administration of, Ondo State. How do you think it would go? Because there seems to be quite a number of interests. Different people are interested in this.
Well, it's politics, and I know the governor would not only consider the need for balancing power, just like Mr. Ayo have said, coming from the southern senatorial zone of the state, 2 other senatorial zones of central and north are open for him to pick a deputy, since you know that a governor cannot constitutionally run a state without a deputy, which office is provided for by the Constitution. Moving forward, the decision would not only be Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa's decision. I know this will be in consultation with the leadership of the party, both at the state and national level, whom he has enjoyed a cordial working relationship with over the past couple of months. But the most important thing is not just to appoint a deputy, but such that will be willing to work as a team with Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. It is important to state this, that at no time, at no single time, did late Governor Akeredolu speak, or was it seen to have spoken publicly against Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa while he was his deputy. Everything that was pictured as a disagreement between late Governor Akeredolu and now Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa were the making of some politically desperate politicians in Ondo State who were merely exploiting the unfortunate ill health of the late governor. So Governor Akeredolu enjoyed a very good relationship with his deputy, and the statements are all over the public.
I would have to leave it there, Mr. Lawson. Yes. That's the much we'll be able to take at this time. Femi Lawson is Secretary General, Ondo Redemption Fund. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
My pleasure.
And Aiyedatiwa, Senior Political Correspondent. Thank you very much, Ayo.